In this episode of the Hospo Dojo podcast, I catch up with Damian Hopper. He's the Managing Director of Bubba Pizza, a family business turned franchise that's grown to more than 20 stores across Australia. We chat about what it's really like growing a business, how the company scaled without losing its roots, and what it takes to stand out in the competitive pizza game. This episode is proudly brought to you by Food and Hospitality Week, a major event in Australia's hospitality calendar connecting 15,000 chefs, owners and industry professionals every year. Damian Hops. Hop or Hops? Hopper.
Yeah, but I guess I go by the name of Hops or
D-Hops.
D-Hop.
D-Hop.
Yeah, something like that. My cool
D-Hop. Hey. We've got a fan outside.
Hey,
Tune into the podcast, bro. Yeah, you can sit outside and
like
tune in.
and subscribe.
That's it. Hospo Dojo. D-Hops, Bubba Pizza.
Yeah, that's me.
A Melbourne institution. How many stores do we have now?
We got 17 at the moment. We've got 2 in the Adelaide Hills, and we've got a pretty good spread across Metro Melbourne down to Torquay and Geelong.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's good. It's been around for 25 years now, which is a long time.
Family business?
Family, yeah. Mum and Dad founded it around the year 2000.
Okay.
Yeah, which is pretty cool. Like Rog, my dad, he was in Coles and Bilo for many
Bilo,
years.
I remember Bilo, yeah. I used to have a Bilo in my local.
Yeah, so that was big in SA, and that's where we were from originally, and Dad worked his way up there, and then Coles bought them out, so we moved to Melbourne, and then he met a lot of people in shopping centres, and that's where he met one of his Lebanese friends who had a pizza shop. And like Melbourne pizza culture is there's a lot of Lebanese people, and that's where a lot of the pizza culture came from. And so he met a couple of guys. He met one guy there who had one shop, and he was like, this is doing pretty well. Do you want to join in? And he quit his job where he was at the time, and went in for this one pizza shop and did really well. As a partner,
like a partner?
It was a partnership for the first couple of years, and then they got up to, I think, probably 3 or 4 shops and a couple of restaurants. Things weren't quite working out, but my dad and mum were really passionate about the pizza, and the other guy was keen on restaurants. So they split. It was not a bad one or anything like that. And then, and I would have been probably 15 or 14, 15 at the time. So me and my brother grew up through high school working in the shops, learning the craft, and mum and dad were out there, running the business and growing it. So
it's amazing. And what style of pizza do you guys do?
We started from the Melbourne sort of pizza, the cotto, the shredded ham, the $5 pizza back in the day. I guess it's kind of your corner store pizza shop. We were very price driven in the early days, but we were very good at it because Dad had his experience with merchandising with Bilo and Coles, so coupons and things like, he brought a lot of awesome skills that
and marketing.
And marketing skills where and his other partner brought in that Lebanese pizza culture, which was awesome. And nowadays we're premiumizing. We're trying to sort of separate ourselves from the rest of the competition. We're bringing in some slow fermented dough, some shaved ham. We're improving, going from the black olives to the Kalamata olives. So we've been slowly doing that over the last 5 years, which is probably arguably not the greatest time to do it when people are having less and less money. But I think we're really passionate and focused on product at the moment, which has been challenging, but we're really confident because we're only priced sort of $1, maybe $2 more than the average pizza joint. So pretty confident that for an extra $1 or $2 that people will get a way better pizza.
That's amazing. And with your stores, is it a franchise model? Is it a license model? Is it all self-owned?
Yeah, it's franchise model. It was really hard early in the days. I think we probably got up to about 5 shops in our name, but it was so hard to manage. And it was a lot. We did have a cafe at the time as well, but the franchise model was definitely the way to go, and that's what helped us sort of grow. And it was a steady growth. Like it wasn't like multiple shops every year. It probably worked out to only be 1, sometimes 2 in a year. But we were up to 22 in COVID, and we've taken a little bit of a back step. It's been pretty tough. But yeah, we're looking to start growing towards the end of this year again, just steadying the ship a little bit.
That's great. And there are plenty of organisations out there that you need to make those hard decisions on closing a store. We can't let emotions get in the way.
Yeah, I was listening to one of your snippets on your Instagram. A guy was talking about it might have been you, I can't remember, or an interviewer about looking at people's menus and people make their menu based on their own emotions and what they like.
Yeah, that was me. Yeah.
Oh, was it you?
Yeah,
It rang true because you're right. Like, and we're looking at one or maybe two shops this year that might not be a part of our next sort of gen, and I got to forget about the 20-year history that's behind it. And
yeah, it's a hard one, and it's a really hard one to it's easier for me to say than for you to comprehend and actually push it through. And but the only reason why I'm very empathetic with history, and I come from a family where hospitality has been in our veins for many years. My grandfather, when he came here in the 70s, that's all he did.
Yeah.
Right. So. But throughout the years and throughout my family's businesses, I've seen more fails than successes. I've seen more closing of restaurants and openings, right?
Yeah.
And when I dig down deep and I understand the psychology behind it, a lot of it was emotionally driven.
Yeah.
A lot of the menu was emotionally driven.
Yeah.
And you can stay true to, like, we had a podcast with Emma from Brown Brothers, who's a 4th generation winemaker.
Wow.
167 years.
Yeah.
That's a legacy.
Yeah, it's huge.
And for them, going into the zero alcohol market is a big step. It's a side step. Something that they're not, it's never been a variety on their program. And they were late to the market. But why were they late? They didn't want to put something on the menu that they wouldn't drink at their own table. So it's very important to still stay true to that.
Yeah.
Not just do something because it's a fad.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, they could have been early adopters and launched something straight away.
Yeah.
But, when they're holding a legacy, like you're holding a legacy, 20 years, it's not easy to hold, mate.
No, it's not.
The average life cycle of a business in hospitality, 7 years.
Yeah,
if it's a good business.
Yeah.
Before they sell it, before they move on. And if it's a great business, I'm saying. You're holding a brand for 20 years, so you got to stay true to your foundations and your integrity, and don't forget that. But it's okay to also move with new products and new development that the market's demanding, because market shifts and market changes.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Right? So whenever I am working with a client just like yourself, I always go down to the root of the foundation. And I say, okay, what's our foundational values here? What's everything that made Bubba's? We won't change that.
Yeah. Yeah.
The coupons, the experience, the value.
Yeah.
That's not changing. Right? But if there's products that we're just keeping there to suffice one or two regular clients that have been there for 5 years, mate, they're not paying the rent. They're not paying the bills.
Yeah, no, exactly. And I think for us at the moment, it's not, because there are brands like us growing at the moment. They've been growing through COVID, and we've got to just focus on ourselves. We've got to think about the next 25 years of Bubba, not right now, and
100%.
the rocky boat that we've been on.
And yeah, don't look at, like, okay, it's good to look at your competition, but don't use that as a e-marker of success for you. If you're like, how could these guys rapidly grow and we're still at 20 stores? Don't worry about that.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's hard to do. It's easy to say, but we're sort of, because now that Josh and I, my brother, have taken over the business. The succession plan went through about a year ago.
Congratulations.
Which was a really big thing, and not I'm not sure if you saw the TV show. I always say it was similar to the TV show, but not as many helicopters involved. But succession was not an easy thing. It was really hard for mum and dad to let go, and it was really, really hard for us to get
embrace,
to the point. Yeah. So, but it's all been through now, and now, as I'm saying, we're looking at it as a new business. We've actually got some new business partners coming on board as well, which is really exciting for us. So,
that's great, and that's going to help you evolve and grow further. As you've been growing in this space, can you share some of the lessons you learned about leadership and managing teams as the business has expanded?
Yeah. Well, I think they're just the most important thing. Like the people that we have in our team right now, like James, he's out there listening now. Like without him, we would have really struggled through COVID because we had to take on a couple of company stores. So the most important thing is to look after the people that have got your back and that sort of stay true to the company's values. Like he understands the service levels, the quality of pizza that we want. But yeah, he's kind of like Mr. Fix-It for us. So we've got to make sure when people like him come in the door that you make sure that they're the most important thing, because without good people, it's really hard to grow and rely on things, especially as you're expanding. You've got to put people in a place and move on and look in other areas, and you've got to really trust that person. And that's the same with a franchise partner as well. A really good franchise partner versus maybe someone that is not following the processes as well. You've got to, that's just as important for us.
And how do you iron out those franchise partners?
That's pretty tough, to be honest. I think it's about bringing them in and making sure that they're ticking a lot more boxes. Back in the day, growing things, we would always sort of just take the cashola, whereas now we're starting to, over the years, we learned that you've got to try and you got to make sure they go through a much more stringent process and find out what their motives are, because there are a lot of ulterior motives
and agendas.
Agendas to buying businesses. So, and yet that catches you out, and sometimes you don't know until 6 months down the line that it was just a passive investment for them, which is a pretty common thing. So getting better at those sorts of processes is something we're focused on, and our new partners are going to be helping us with that.
Yeah, and let's unpack a little bit more on those franchisees. What if somebody wanted to buy a franchise? What is the truth behind running a franchise store like a Bubba's?
I think I was doing a TikTok on this the other day. Someone said, "Oh, I'd love to have a shop," and we thought, well, let's respond to this. But like, you've got to understand that it's pizza, and it's 5 till 8 o'clock, Thursday to Sunday is when you'll make most of your money. So you got to understand that that's probably one of the biggest sacrifices that you're going to make is the personal time that you used to have. You're not going to have that anymore, and you're probably going to be like, hospitality demands more than 40 hours a week most weeks. So you've got to understand that there's going to be really big sacrifices like that to be made, and I think that's one of the biggest things early on that shocks people. They're on their feet for 50 hours, and it's real physical. But then after a while, you got the most successful pizza shops are the ones that have the same face there every Friday
week,
night, and you see them. It's like coffee culture. There's 10 coffee shops you can go to, and you can go into one, but the one that I prefer to go to is the one where it goes, "Oh, hey, Damo, how are you? Have a good day," and like they hand it over and they give you that little bit extra. I think pizza culture in Melbourne's very similar, because a lot of the pizza is the same, is similar, but when there's someone who goes, "Oh, hey, Paulie, what's going on?" Like that, that means a little bit more to me.
Yeah, you're making a personalised experience. And actually, I did a podcast with Nat Tapon about why Starbucks failed in Australia.
I saw that.
And one of the reasons was there was a lack of personalisation.
Yep.
Right? For the same price point.
Yeah.
You've got to remember there's a ceiling for a price. They were charging more and you're getting less value. It doesn't have to mean value in the actual cup itself. Yeah, okay, their packaging might have looked cooler and probably felt better, but you're losing that customer interaction, that personalised experience.
Yeah.
They're actual tangible things. They're things that you can't put a price on.
No, it's true.
And they're things that people remember for forever. So, when, like, for example, where I grew up in Wetherill Park, in Sydney, a deli had closed down that was there for over 60 years. The minute that place closed down, that's it. I wanted to leave the area, and I did. I actually did.
Really?
Because it was like a big part of that, and for me, it showed me that area was changing. And it's like, well, we're losing our heritage here. We can't. It's not getting rebuilt. And when that deli closed, you lost a personal interaction.
Yeah,
it's a big personal interaction, right?
Yep.
So I totally get it, and I guess that's why Bubba's is successful is because you have those core franchisees that stay in the stores,
Yeah.
that are present, and they reap the rewards, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And what's the benefit of someone joining a franchise rather than starting a store out on their own?
I think we just sort of take all the bullshit off them, and we handle things. We have the technology set up. We have all the systems in place, the recipe as well. So we obviously we train them for 6 to 8 weeks, and we support them ongoing. We're starting to invest a lot. Actually, a big change we're making at the moment is taking on local marketing for franchisees as well, and actually investing some of our own funds into doing that. Because we want we've always said, you guys got to do your local marketing, you got to get down to your footy clubs, and it's still true, but it's very hard when you've got so much on your plate to do that. So one of the new initiatives we're doing now is actually myself. I'm doing it myself, is making connections with the local footy clubs and managing the sponsorship arrangement, just the initial one, and then they can carry it forward. But that's
At least you give them a head start and a good push start a part of your programming.
And set it up properly, make sure the sign's in the right spot, make sure the agreement's done properly. And the hard thing's always for them is the initial cash outlay, and that's always been one of the big roadblocks. But if we've now taken that off them, and we're trying to help them, because most really successful pizza shops have a really strong local marketing game, and that's something where we've always sort of let for them to do, but the reality is a lot of people don't really focus on it, so that's where we're trying to do a little bit extra at the moment.
Man, that's as someone that's worked with many franchisors in the past and built many stores for many brands across Australia, consulted places in the US, the fact that you're now taking the initiative to localize on that location and you're going in personally and delivering on that value, that value add for them, that's really setting the foundations in its full footprint to give them something to succeed upon.
Yeah, that's true.
You're stabilizing the foundation. You're not leaving anything loose, right? You're eliminating any marginal error here. Yeah. Guys, you just got to renew that agreement. We've locked it in.
Turn up to a sponsors day.
Turn up to a sponsors day. Make sure you deliver on the product.
Yep.
Make sure, of course, every product's got to be delivered successfully for each and every customer. But if they're a sponsor, they're a VIP. Look at Seagrass, for example, Meat and Wine Co. Their VIP program is phenomenal. And I don't know if you've ever realised it, but if you're nominated as a VIP in a Meat and Wine Co, they'll etch your name on a knife.
Wow.
Right? And you'll be at a restaurant, you'll be sitting down, and they'll put the knife where your seat is. They know who you are, they'll put your knife down. If you decide you're in Melbourne, you fly to Sydney, and you're a VIP, guess what they're doing? Your knife's going to be on that table when you go there.
No way. That's awesome. How do you become a VIP?
Well, you got to spend enough money.
Oh. Damn.
But that's what I'm saying, and that's the VIP experience is.
Yeah.
It's those 1%ers. When you go to a hotel and you're a VIP.
Yeah.
Right. The same thing. It's that loyalty. It's that membership. It's making them feel that they're a part of something. It's belonging, and that's what people go for, and it's that personalization that you were talking about before.
That's cool.
All right.
I really like the idea of your own personalized pizza delivery bag to come and pick it up, take it home. Got the family name on it.
You could think of it, you could come up with those ideas, and it's if it's someone that orders every week, well, what's the cost of a pizza bag to retain a customer?
Yeah,
you know what the cost is to retain to gain a new customer in this market with social media marketing, right? So they're the little tactics. Like for Meat and Wine Co, what's the cost of a steak knife and going to go get it etched at someone's? It wouldn't be much,
no.
Right? They've got the knives there. They just go etch it down the road. You don't have to air freight it. But what's the value?
Yeah, the long-term value.
The long term. When someone goes to a table, oh my God, that's your personal knife.
Yeah.
You could go do that tomorrow and have a personal knife at home. But look, the feeling that you had to have that at a restaurant, that's the difference.
It's like that the barista saying, "Have a good day, Paul."
Yeah.
It's that sort of touch. They've done that really well. That's cool. I feel like a steak now.
That's it. If there's someone out there that's got a couple stores and they're tossing between wanting to start a franchise, what's one piece of advice you'd give them?
If they've got a couple of stores and want a franchise, definitely make sure that the people coming in are aligned with the way that you do business, the way that you speak to customers, the way that you value your customers and your recipe. I think that's a really big sort of lesson for us. And not blaming people that came in. We take accountability for the people that come in, for the good ones and the bad ones. But that's the way you've got to take it.
Yeah. So like, I want to just unpack a little bit more of the truths behind running a franchise. It's not all glitz and glam. Like sometimes you guys got to sign the head lease.
Yeah.
Right. So what's that look like for a potential franchisor? Like, what are the risks?
The risk for a potential franchisor, yeah, you take on a lot of risk. Like mum and dad's houses, they were all up, very early, and you've got to now me and my brother's houses are on the line. If you want to expand quickly, the best way to do it is to sign a couple of leases, build the shop, open it up, and franchise it down the track. But you've got to have a lease. You've got to put a bank guarantee up. You've got to have assets. You got to risk it all. And that's exactly what you're saying. Like. You got to have it. You got to put everything on the line, and to do that, you got to really believe in yourself and what you're doing, and that's part of this new partners that are coming in for Josh and I. Like, I think the best part of that all is that we've got people that believe in us and they want to support us and believe in the brand. So you got to do that yourself first. If you're going to have other people, whether it's a business partner or a franchise partner, you got to really sort of be confident in what you're doing and be prepared to risk everything.
Yeah, and that's really critical, like what you said there before about starting the stores and then letting them go.
Yeah.
Rather than just selling off a new store.
Yeah, like a greenfield.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
right.
greenfields are tougher to do, especially at the moment with, costs are up around $300 to $350 for a standard pizza shop with brand new equipment. So there's, you've got to have someone who's going to, you've got to find a bank that's going to finance that, which, hospitality is probably not the most...
One of the toughest markets to finance at the moment.
Yeah, so, and equipment's it's very expensive in pizza. You don't have to replace it very often. The ovens are great and the equipment's great once you buy it, but, you've got to remember that, sometimes it's easier to open up the shop, and that's how a lot of our growth came, is by opening up the shop ourselves, running it, and then finding a franchisee who comes into a busy shop, rather than that risk of buying something and opening it up and it not, paying the dividends straight away.
That's amazing, man. I just, I look forward to seeing what Bubba's has for future, and I really look forward to seeing this journey, the new generation taking it on.
Yeah.
Congratulations. I know it's not always roses.
No, that's all good.
But, you've given us some insightful tips to people prospecting, looking into franchises, to people looking to start their own franchise. You've been so open and so genuine, and I wish you nothing but the best, and I hope to see you at 100 stores.
Cool. Thanks, mate. I'll see you on the bus. Back on the bus for 100.
That's it. 100%. We'll be in a jet.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Man. No worries. Thanks for having me.
Mate, take care.